transit video. I give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, double honor to the elders, apostles, and bishops at Great Stone. We labor night and day, we rule well. Make sure that we get this 100% truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000 to 1/3. Shalom to all those that support this truth. Shalom to all the brothers that are in GMS. Shalom. So, a lot of stuff going on. Like I said in my previous videos, I was talking about the connection. And in my post, the connection between Venezuela and Russia, and Venezuela and China. And see, a lot of people don't know, this is not the first time Trump has came into territory of Venezuela. Last time Russia had to intervene. See, what people don't understand, when you don't do your research, you really don't know what's going on. Russia and China have interest in Venezuela because they got money tied into Venezuela. So Russia already has got their stuff headed over there, and so does China. And like I said before, if Venezuela gets taken over, how is China and Russia supposed to survive? And see, that's what they know. And that's what the United States know. You know, they're saying it's because of drug cartels. It has nothing to do with drugs, man. If you're dealing with a drug problem, then you deal with it. You don't have to call all these troops and stuff like that for a drug problem. And they already came out and said that they want that oil. They want to take control of it. Because if they take control of that oil or destroy that oil, that means there's going to be problems for China and Russia. So this is soon about to turn into something very big. And now, the United States is trying to go to war with Nigeria. And we got to look at why that's going to happen. They already wanted to go to war with the guy from Burkina Faso. And that's just more reason for them to be in that land. And they say because the Christians are being attacked by the Muslims. Well, we all know that somebody's being paid. Because those Christians ain't going to go mess with nobody. And there has always been a problem between the Muslims and the Christians over there in Nigeria. That they always have been attacking them. Always. So, and this is just more of a reason for the United States to show their stronghold. That's all it is. See, the United States is making up a big plan in the very end to pull out their high-tech weapons, their laser beams. And then eventually when America falls, which they're going to make themselves fall on purpose, because everything's being done through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and then that's when he's going to get involved. He's going to get involved. And then that's when this stuff comes about And then that's when it's going to be everybody against the Heavenly Father. It's going to put it in their heart to come up against him. Yep. Because that's who they're going to end up coming up against. The Heavenly Father. And it's going to be a bloodbath. And this is just to show, if you look at this devil, how he goes from place to place starting stuff. Now see, the whole world has to see who he is. See, if we keep not shining the light on who he is, people ain't gonna know who he is. They don't keep thinking, oh no, he's fine, he's okay, he doesn't do that. It's just like what the court system does. A lot of these people on ankle monitor bracelets. And they know that these people be places they're not supposed to be. But they allow it. Because if they don't allow them to go out of the zone of what they're supposed to do, how can you lock them up? And if they don't commit a crime, how can you lock them up? A person can easily say, well, hey, I went out of the zone because I was trying to find work, man. I mean, this ain't no work where I'm at. Well, if they go out of that zone and they commit a crime, oh, man, that's what they want. So what the Heavenly Father wants, he wants Edom to go out there and commit these crimes. So that way he can show the world that, hey, look, I told you that this person was bad. And then the whole world's going to see who he is. But the whole world has to see who he is. They have to see that, hey, he's 100% the devil because of the things that he does. I mean, you see ICE out here at 100 miles per hour, man. You see countless videos of them separating people, families, people begging. And then you gotta be careful. They'll erase you out the system. So that's the whole thing going on with this ICE stuff. They will erase you out of the system. They don't want you here. You gotta deal with that, and this soon about to come to a head. It says SNAP benefits supposed to be it's supposed to be pushed back. The judge granted it, but it's pushed back. So we don't know how long that's gonna be. But what about EBT? What about WIC? That stuff cut off too. That stuff cut off. So a lot of people are not looking at that either. Just see, all this stuff is planned. They set this stuff up on purpose. They set it up right before Thanksgiving and Christmas, the two most holidays that people celebrate. Families come together, people travel far, and then let's not even talk about the airports. Oh, some of these airport places, shoot, we was trying to bring a family member over, In some places, there's nothing showing that the plane is going anywhere. Yeah. Some of these planes are just sitting there. And then you gotta think, how are these planes being gassed up? If there's no, well, you know, people still buying gasoline for the planes. Look at that. Shoot, we looked at a flight from Africa to America, and nothing even came up. Yeah, that's another thing. Once this stuff starts getting crazy, you won't be able to flee Babylon or to leave out of Babylon. And see, that's going to be another thing that's going to upset people. And now they got Canadian military vehicles down here. Yeah. That's another thing going on. They soon going to be locking down everything, man. A man would not be able to go to a city. And then soon the police is going to say to hell with it. And then that's going to be real crazy once the police get like that. You're going to soon have that. You're going to soon have police against police. They'll be like, yeah, I always knew Johnny was bad. He always been a bad cop. Someone's going to try to let them know what they're doing is wrong. And then you're going to have that. And then you're going to have people in the, you know, in the military going against each other. Best believe some of those people in the military, they don't approve of all this stuff going on. They got families. So these are the things that's going to go on and have been going on. And people are not aware of these things that's going on around them. They think everything's just going to be how it's going to be. And it's not. All this stuff is planned. Starve the people out. Have mad chaos. To justify, you have to have your troops everywhere. And now, I see something, they got a quick response force. Yeah, military. They're trying to implement that in each city, just in case stuff gets crazy. So now, if they can't use the martial law, they're trying to have that ready, a quick response force. But I'm telling you, not everybody that's in the military is for this. They got military people in the line trying to get food. Can you imagine that? You got people in the military. And to see, that's why Trump, like a year ago, well, this is first year, so he wanted to get rid of a lot of Afro-Americans that were in the military. Because he knows it's going to come to that. And see, it's a war within a war. You have the war with the United States going against Venezuela, Nigeria, and the immigration. And now you're going to have stuff going on within its own civil war and within its own government. These Republicans and Democrats can't come to an agreement. And what people have to realize, it's not about Democrats and Republicans. It doesn't matter. It's the matter that he has them in the chokehold. Nero has them in a chokehold. And he can say, hey, we're not bending. And they can say, we're not bending. And then what people don't realize is this. Even if he restores the food, he still already has a 2-year limit on government funding to subsidize living. 2-year limit. So even if you're getting your food, where are you going to put it at? Where your kids going to be at? People are going to get their stuff thrown out in the street. People are not even thinking. People need to be saying like, hey, look, man, we need to start preparing. Even myself. I mean, I have a job. I don't get no government assistance. But the whole point, what I'm trying to say, is that once this stuff start being pulled, people are going to start looking at us. But if you're being protected by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he's going to see you through. But that doesn't mean stuff is going to be a cherry on top. No, you're going to be going through adversities and problems during all these times. So it's something to remember for once we get this kingdom. And we have to be thinking about this stuff. Because they're going to try to come after us prophets. Because they're going to be like, well, how come everything fine with them? And we have to be thinking. We have to be putting this word in our heart and really believing it. Because once we're on the move, hey, we're not going to be, not saying that we're not going to read scriptures. We're going to be doing most of quoting them. Because we ain't going to have time to flip through the scriptures. Because people are going to be shooting at us. People are going to try to harm our family members. It's going to be real hard for us out here. And this is why we got to pierce into these scriptures that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai has provided for us. These people out here didn't do that. Because if they did do that a long time ago, they would be like, yo, these government benefits are going to be stripped away. I need to use this time to get some type of an education that I can use to support my family until there's totally no more work in Egypt. And if you really look at it, the only work you're really going to start finding in Egypt that's really going to last is the medical field and the building field where people use their hands. Because you're always going to have someone that's going to have a stopped up toilet, sink or something leaking, or you're always going to have some lights that ain't working, or a car that's broke down. So those are essential things that people need. And if you're not basically in some type of those fields like that, man, you could be replaced. Easily replaced. Those are the two best fields that's going to hold you over for a little bit. And then once some of the funding gets cut from all this Medicaid and stuff like that, then the hospitals are going to feel the crunch too. Like they have always done. They will send people away if you ain't got medical coverage. They'll send you away. come to that, or people start going to these hospitals for a place to stay, and people do that too. They say that their leg is hurting or something like that, just so they can try to be inside the hospital. Yeah, I've seen people do stuff like that. That's why a lot of these hospitals got security guards. And a lot of these hospitals got food. They don't have a lot of food, but it's going to get to that point. It's going to start getting real nasty out here, man. And then, and I'm not promoting anything, but you just better keep your head on a swivel. You better be walking circumspect, man. Because people are going to try people, man. You want to have some type of form of protection on you. Whether you're someone good with your hands, you know, everybody's allowed to carry at least a 3 to 4 inch blade. We let it be known that can really come in handy, even for survival. And if you can, try to get yourself a vest. You know, I mean, all protection is really going to ultimately come from Yahweh Bashim